Your calendar is training your team. Whether you mean it to or not, if your calendar has no edges, your team learns that there's no edges. If your day is full, but people can still squeeze into it whenever they feel unsure, they learn that your time is flexible. If every quick question gets answered immediately, they learn that immediate access is normal. And then you wonder why everyone keeps interrupting you. Mate, your calendar taught them. With love, I know that stings a bit, but it's useful because if your calendar taught the old pattern, your calendar can teach a new one. A lot of team leaders think that their calendar is just a place to put meetings. It's not. Your calendar is one of your strongest leadership tools. It tells people what matters. It tells people when decisions happen. It tells people when support is available. It tells people whether thinking time is real work or whether it can be sacrificed the second something else feels urgent. And that's where things start to go sideways, because leaders will often protect everyone else's time but leave their own completely exposed. You'll make sure the team has breaks, you'll make sure the roster's covered, you'll make sure everyone has what they need. And then your own calendar looks like a junk drawer. A meeting here, a crisis there, a half-finished admin task, 3 conversations that you didn't plan for, lunch eaten at your desk, then home late, still thinking about everything you didn't get to. That's not a calendar. That's a crime scene. I get why it happens, right? You don't want to seem unavailable. You don't want your team to think that you don't care. You don't want to miss something important, especially if you're leading in a high-pressure environment where things can shift quickly. So you stay open, you stay reachable, you stay interruptible. And at first that feels like good leadership. People know they can come to you. They feel supported. Problems get handled. But over time, the cost shows up. Your team stops filtering. They bring everything straight to you. Small things, medium things, things they could have solved, things that should have gone into a team rhythm, things that needed a process but got to your nervous system instead. And because you keep catching it, the pattern keeps growing. Not because your team is bad, but because the system is teaching them that you are the system. That is so exhausting. Here's a slightly uncomfortable exercise. Have a look at your calendar from last week. Not the one that you planned, the one that actually happened. Where did your time really go? How many meetings started late or ran over? How many pieces of work got bumped because someone needed something? How many times did you say, I'll just fit it in? How many decisions happened in hallways, inboxes, or random moments between proper work? And how much of your actual leadership work got pushed to the edges of the day? Because that's the part that leaders often miss. Your calendar isn't just showing your workload, it's showing your operating rhythm. If everything important gets shoved into the cracks, then the cracks have become your plan. Ugh, yuck. No wonder you're tired. Now let's talk about the open door policy for a second, because I know it comes from a good place. I want my team to know that they can come to me. Beautiful. But if your open door has no rhythm, it can quietly wreck you. An open door doesn't mean open all day. It doesn't mean every question gets access right now. It doesn't mean your team never has to think before they bring something to you. Good access has shape. There are times for quick check-ins. There are times for deeper conversations. There are clear pathways for urgent issues. There are places where non-urgent things can wait. That's not cold, it's calm. And calm is exactly what your team needs from you. A stable leader is not the person who says yes to every interruption. A stable leader is the person who creates a rhythm that the team can trust. And that's the shift. Your team doesn't need you to be endlessly flexible. They need you to be predictably available. That might sound like a small difference, but it changes everything. Endlessly flexible means that your week bends around everyone's anxiety. Predictably available means that your team knows when and how to get support. Endlessly flexible creates dependence. Predictably available builds confidence. Endlessly flexible leaves you fried. Predictably available lets you lead for longer than 6 heroic weeks before you collapse into a hoodie and disappear from society. And yes, I'm only half joking. So what do you actually change? We'll start by putting the edges back into your calendar. Not complicated, just clear. A daily anchor where you decide what matters before the day starts deciding for you. A weekly reset where you look at what's coming, what's likely to blow up, and what needs attention before it becomes urgent. A protected buffer after hard meetings or complex conversations. A proper place for staff questions instead of letting them scatter through your whole day. A rule for what counts as urgent. Now that one is massive because if your team doesn't know what urgent means, everything becomes urgent. And when everything is urgent, nothing gets led properly. So here's a simple tool. Make 2 columns on a page. On one side, write access I want to keep. On the other side, write access that is costing me. Access you want to keep might be things like being available when there's a real safety concern, supporting new staff through tricky moments, making clear decisions when the team is stuck. Access that is costing you might be random admin questions that could be batched. People using you as the first step instead of the final check. Conversations that start with no clear ask. Emotional dumping with no next action. Then look at the second column and ask, where should this live? In a weekly team rhythm? In a one-to-one? In a shared document? In a decision-making tree? A standing check-in? Because again, most interruptions are not random. They're homeless. They need a home that isn't your whole calendar. Your calendar is not just managing your time, it's teaching your team what kind of leadership environment they're in. If your calendar has no edges, your team will keep walking through the walls. If your calendar has rhythm, your team learns rhythm. And rhythm creates safety for them and for you. Inside the Leadership Lab, this is exactly where we start. We stabilize the week. Daily anchors, weekly resets, clear buffers, better access rhythms with your team. Because you can't lead a mission-driven team from a calendar that looks like a bin fire. If you want the details, they're in the pinned comment. And if your calendar has been quietly teaching the wrong lessons, good news. You can teach a better one.